Who else here can agree to the statement, every wife, every home? Put up your hand.
The one that I got is not here, so...
Okay. I think Dato Fazley, this next question could be quite related to you. If you could redesign your kitchen again, what's one feature you absolutely insist on, and how important is choosing the right material for making that vision come true?
Okay, I like this question very much. If I were to redesign the kitchen again, I think it must have a well-ventilated and dry kitchen layout. You see, for me, when we cook a traditional dish, most of the time it's in the wet kitchen. You need a wok, you need a proper oil everywhere, the fire everywhere, but at the same time, you need a dry kitchen where you can bake and prep. So I think I love the Artteva design. I've been going around, I've been doing my research. It's able to create a blend of creativity and elegance and functionality that I need. And I think I heard from the big bosses now, the fact that when you go into a new house, you always have this stuffy nose, and it's a certain sense that I've been going through moving houses to houses, which I do not face when I come in here. So I think the material that is used is very safe for kids especially, and for the whole family. So I think that's where I'm heading.
Okay, thank you very much for shouting out about Artteva as well. Kenneth, what about you? Would you think you would like to redesign your kitchen, or also for your coffee?
I think for me, I think my kitchen is fine because I don't cook as much. But I think one thing about my kitchen is really, like if you come to my house, you realize my drawer is terrible. Because there's so much weight in it that it just over time just becomes not very smooth. So I think like the things that you don't see also to me is important. And definitely like I mean for every I do have every day like other than sometimes. So like I really do feel like the chemicals that you get from a freshly renovated space is something that you won't know until you live in it. Like and this lasts for a long time. Like it stays in the space for weeks, if not months. Like, yeah, and I rushed to move into my space because of my own reasons. And I was living in there and I realized my eyes were hurting and my throat was dry. And I think this is something that people don't realize that it's true. And to be honest with you, I think I work with many IDs and many companies and they rarely talk about it. And I think that's something that's good for you guys talk about. And I think people should take notice of this a lot more. And I think this is something that I will definitely pay more attention to in my next project for sure.
Alright, thank you very much. And I think it's something where Mr. Han, Mr. Ho Han will also share about the Artteva boards being years ago, which I think we also have branded it as green safe. So we like that how everyone is talking about the safe material for their home. Just to understand a bit more, I don't want to get into the question, how important is it to have safe and long-lasting material for your space in your house?
Like I think safe is definitely something that you have to make sure of. That's prerequisite. And I think long-lasting is something that people don't see. We spend money on things that look nice but it may not last. And very often we make decisions. And when it comes to design, sometimes you see photos, like you see pictures and like you're just so tempted on what you can see. The things you don't see, buying the right materials, the right hardware, like good quality, is sometimes things that we stinge on that we should not. We spend on things on decor, things that people see, and I think that is a mistake in the long term. And these are the regrets that I personally have made many times. So today I think if you're doing up your own space, that is something that you should definitely spend your money on for sure. Like something that lasts a long time, especially if it's your own space.
Okay, thank you very much. Dato Prof, would you like to add on to that question as well?
Yes, you see, I live in a space where my parents used to live with me, and then we had our own houses, and then we always had cats in the house. So So having pets in the house is most important that you understand that the surroundings also safe. And being a chef in the kitchen, the cats will come there as well. You don't want any other insects to come in. So if the kitchen material is good, if the space is lavish, if the looks is wonderful, the kitchen becomes the main area where the family and the pets get together. So the fact that the kitchen has to be healthy, breathable, and doesn't attract any other insects other than the pets is most important.
Thank you very much. That's very nice to share. And next question. This collaboration between Artteva and both of you brings the two worlds together, food and design. What do you hope people take away from today's session?
I think too many people don't plan, and unfortunately that is what happens in most situations that I see. I think my friends are in this whole stage of moving into their own space, and I think just planning it is something that doesn't happen enough. We always plan, but we rarely plan function, and I think that is something that it's kind of like how in a regular space we don't plan how our storeroom is going to look like. You know, like most people are just like, oh yeah, I want a box, right? Like, yeah, I have a storeroom here, that's fine. We rarely ever plan where we want to keep our stuff. That is a functional spaces. And we prioritize too much aesthetics and not functionality. And I think that is something we all need to, including, I guess, designers, need to emphasize. Although I know it's important to make it look beautiful, but I think that is where the reminder needs to come for ourselves and from the designers that let's plan a space that is usable long term and also probably a little bit flexible as something like the guarantee is that our needs change as we live in the space as well. So I think that for me, I have two guest bedrooms that never use. One is a story now, right? So like why did I even fit out that space to be a bedroom where I never needed one? So I think that is definitely something that I think of today.
So I think what Kenneth is trying to say here is that you should also plan on functionality over aesthetics and at the same time think ahead of how the space will change over time as you live in the space. Alright, that's good. Dato Fazley, what about you? Would you agree to what Kenneth said?
Very much so, very much so. Now, if we were to buy a new house, right, most of the time we will spend so much time planning our living room. We'll make sure the TV is somewhere, a good sofa, and we always forget that every time your wife or girlfriends or friends come to the house, you will always try to showcase your kitchen. And these days, a beautiful kitchen is a must. You must make sure that your kitchen looks lavish and you are able to take a good selfie without having to find the right angle. Gone were the days when you do a selfie, you say, I'm equally, and the cabinet saying, here and there, I want to be able to move any angle of my kitchen and my selfie looks good. And who said that you need to be a professional chef to have a beautiful kitchen? Gone are the days. These days is the era of social media and ChatGPT. You don't need to ask ChatGPT, create a nice background for me for a selfie. Your kitchen should be something that you are proud of.
So no filters needed.
No filters except maybe for the Java.
Alright, I think the last question for today's sharing session will be quite important. For homeowners planning to build or renovate, what are your tips for choosing cabinetry in terms of design, functionality, and also the material? That's about
Alright, I had some notes I wanted to share because I think a lot of people ask me about kitchen as well, but there's home kitchen, but there's professional kitchen. I think you need to understand, first and foremost, how do you and your family and possibly your friends want to use your kitchen, whether it's daily, weekly, or even every hour. And the design should actually incorporate with your cooking style. If you're cooking Western dishes all the time, the kitchen should be a certain way. If you're using a Chinese style of one, it's a certain way. If you're using some traditional Malay style, the kitchen should be a certain way. But there is a type of kitchen cabinet or kitchen creation where you're able to cook any type of dish. Now, you also have to look at the process of designing before living in the kitchen. There are many apps, many AI apps that you can actually imagine and redesign your kitchen before the physicality of the kitchen is being done. And most importantly, I think as a chef, as a partner, as a homeowner, the material we know is as important as the design. And we know that the material needs to last longer, it will not create any issue with your breathing, it should not have or provide any other insects coming into the cabinet because of a certain material. And most importantly, most people forget, if I want to move to, okay, if I want to go here, allow me. Do you have any Artteva stuff from here? Can someone open something here? I want to show you the most important. Can I open this? Okay guys?
Yes, please.
As a chef, I face this problem all the time, but I think homeowners have the same problem. When you open the cabinet, what's important is not the material only, but what's inside here. What helps you to open and close the door how many thousand times that you need. Why I love Artteva, they have a wonderful collaboration with this, what is this gadget called, sir?
The hinges.
The hinges, yes. We call it many names. But now you know it's called hinges. Now this hinges is as important as the material that comes with it. Because many times when I had my cabinets, after maybe 50 times the hinges, the buka and the cabinet sang it. So Artteva provides all this without having to worry for me. Thank you, Artteva.
What about you?
What's the question again?
Do you have any tips for choosing cabinetry in terms of design, functionality, and the material?
I think I echo what Jess said. I think there is no perfect kitchen for everybody. I think you need to figure out how you live life. I think you have obviously always been told like, oh, you live in Malaysia, you need a wet kitchen. I live without a wet kitchen. And that's fine because I don't cook that much. It's like, I eat out most of the time. And I think very often kitchen is a very expensive place. And to be honest with you, I think in most new builds, that is where most of the budget is spent. And I feel like you should spend on it if you use it. Like, I think we overspend. I see so many people overspend on the kitchen and don't use it at all. It's such a shame. Like there is so many people who don't cook and spend a lot of money on the kitchen. And for me, I think definitely hardware is important. Make sure it lasts a long time. Because
If you say you're going to use the kitchen open, can I come?
my kitchen is so tiny. I literally have like a double induction top and like a tiny hood. And I
can soon do wonders for you. You make wonderful coffee to make.
I think that is something that we need to think about. Like, and I think we assume a lot of things like, oh, I'm going to move in there and I'm going to cook. But like, how often do you change your lifestyle just because of like, oh, I got a nice kitchen now, so I'm going to start cooking. You need to be honest with yourself. Right? And for me, it's maybe now I wish I spent a little bit more intention in my kitchen because I probably cook a little bit more now. But like don't spend on things that you don't need. It's kind of like like people do built-in ovens just because it looks nice, but they never use it. They end up having like a small external toaster oven right? Or they put in a dishwasher that they don't use. So I'm not saying that don't spend money on it. If you use it, it's great. And trust me, planning it out makes a lot of sense. But if you end up spending money and don't use it, it's wasteful. So I think that's definitely tip number one. Just think about what you are going to do in that space. Like for me, it's like I use my coffee area every day, and that's a priority, and that's it. And there's a lot of money to spend there. And I think if you do use it and it's worth every cent, spend on higher quality material that you will avoid. And hardware that you will never regret and will last you a long time. Honestly, you will outlive your house. Like you may move out there and the hardware is too hard. That's why.
Alright, you tell the tenant is the person who likes to plan, and how the space will change when you location. And if you're really going to use that space a lot, put in more budget and choose something that really lasts over the time where you're staying. Alright, and speaking to both of you guys, it really sparked an idea. And I was also thinking, would anyone in the audience be interested if one day Artteva has a collaboration with these two over here? Maybe we can have a cooking session, coffee session one day. Would anyone be interested in a session here?
Yeah! We're forgetting most important things in karaoke also.